Hey guys, what's up? It's NihonTiger. Welcome back to Project Cars.
Come on, see if you can take the lead right from the start.
We are actually coming back for the first time in a long time. It's been a while since I've done a video, so I thought I would do something a little early. Normally I do these track previews the day of the Grand Prix or the day of the relevant race, but I'm doing it on Wednesday instead because I really want to race this track. And we are actually ahead of the Japanese Grand Prix, which is this weekend. It's on Sunday. We are at Suzuka, or we are at Suzuka's stand-in Project Cars, Sakkito. By the way, in case I think I mentioned it before, but Sakkito, the name comes from the Japanese word for circuit. It's basically written out in katakana because it's a loan word from English, but yeah, it's Sakkito. So the full name in Japanese is Suzuka Sakkito. The actual track this is based off of is in Suzuka, which is in Mie Prefecture in Japan. It's in central Japan. It is near Nagoya, which is actually where I was when I went on my my study abroad trip to Japan in 2006. So I never got to visit the Suzuka, but I really wish I had been able to. It was about an hour away by train. Just could never make it out there. And the other thing too is the circuit's not really open. So we are in a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo X, the only actual Japanese car that's in the game. And of course it's the Lancer Evo. It's a really nice car. You probably have seen this mostly in rallying. It's a very popular rally car. It's a nice tuner car. A lot of people drive it for that reason. Don't sell a whole lot of them in the US actually, believe it or not, but yeah, we are going to be racing here. There's the Ferris wheel, which the Ferris wheel, which is I went wide on 130R. The Ferris wheel is kind of one of the highlights of Suzuka. So let's talk a little bit about the track. I don't really know much about the Lancer Evo other than what I've told you. So there's Sakkito, that pedestrian crosswalk, and then this part right up here in the start-finish line, this bridge with the lights. That's not the actual Suzuka. So coming on down here, the first turn. Now this is mostly a pretty similar track, but some changes have been made because of the licensing issues and whatnot. So first turn, come down here. Probably remember first turn from the crash. I think it was 90 where Senna took out Prost in Prost. I always say Prost. Why do I say Prost? It's Prost. It's Alan Prost. Took him out in the first corner to win the World Championship. And coming up here through the S-curves, I'll mention a slight change there in a moment. Out into the Dunlop curve here, this big, wide, sweeping curve.
You've got a 3-second lead, that's great. Stay focused and keep pushing.
This is the Degner curve right here, this sharp right-hander. Oh, didn't brake hard enough. And come down into this corner right here. Now up here normally this goes uphill to a hairpin, but the hairpin's been excluded from the game or this track. It's one of the many changes. Come down here into this long sweeping right-hander, and that leads out to the very famous spoon curve, which is this big long curve here at the end. It's kind of a left-hander. It's almost got like a double apex to it. So you kind of got this first apex here. And your second apex is right here at the tip of the spoon, leading out onto this long straight, which leads out to a very, very fast, very dangerous corner, 130R. A lot of bad crashes have happened there over the years. It's super fast. They've reprofiled it a couple times, but it's probably the trickiest corner to get right because you do have to slow down a little bit, but you don't want to slow down too much or you go off the track. Oh my goodness, we just about lost it there. Now this part's been removed. This is the casino triangle. Normally you make a right there and then a left and then another right to get back onto the stretch. It's still kind of there, but it's not actually in the game. It's one of the other small changes they made, and the casino triangle is where Prost and Senna came together when they were McLaren teammates, and that's when Prost won the World Championship. I think it was '89. That was the year before was when it happened. So coming up here we have the S-curves, and there's one curve that's missing. There's one curve that's actually been removed. The first curve in the S-curves It's been straightened out. It's been removed, but the other S curves are all here. So that's a another very small change to Sakkito. It makes it different from Suzuka. But otherwise, it's other than those 3 small changes I mentioned, it's essentially the same track. I mean, the reason it's not in the game as Suzuka in its full layout is because of some licensing issues that Slightly Mad had. They couldn't get the Suzuka license in time for the game, and so they just kind of decided to take what they had, change it around a little bit, and this is what you got. So the actual track itself, for those of you wondering about the history of the track, it started out as a test track for Honda, of all companies. I mean, Toyota is based in Chubu, which is the central region that Nagoya is kind of the center of. So yeah, Toyota is just down the road here. I actually went to the Toyota headquarters. They have a museum there. I should post some pictures of that sometime. I look like such a nerd there. My host family actually took me there, which was crazy. But yeah, we went to the Toyota Museum, which is in Toyota, the city, which yes is named after the fact that the car company is headquartered there. And I think they renamed it after they combined a bunch of smaller towns together, and they do that a lot in Japan. They take a lot of smaller villages and combine them together to make bigger cities because of makes it less, there's less government to worry about.
Keep it up.
Because you don't want to have like 1,000 small villages, and you can have one police and one mayor that kind of can serve the same area, I guess. Whatever. But not about politics, it's about racing, damn it. No one cares about that Japanese cultural stuff. You're not watching the video for that. So, yeah, it started out as a test track for Honda. Oddly enough, Toyota has its own track too that hosted the Japanese Grand Prix. Fuji track is actually Toyota's old track, and that's actually closer to Fuji. Now, the Fuji track's interesting because the Fuji track was supposed to be like an oval, a Talladega style oval in Japan. They're going to build one, and it never got finished. They only built the first turn, and the money ran out, and it kind of sat unfinished. What was, I guess, the road course got built, and that's what the Fuji circuit today is kind of the direct descendant of that. But Suzuka is Honda's old test track, and eventually they brought the Japanese Grand Prix to Suzuka, and it's, other than a couple of times it's been at Fuji because of contract stuff, this has been the home for the Japanese Grand Prix for many, many years. Of course, many of you know I've mentioned this before. I think the last time I went to Suzuka, I mentioned it. It's right around the time that Jules Bianchi passed away. This was a track that he was in the accident last year that put him in a coma that ultimately he passed away from this year. So it's going to be a tough weekend to go back to Japan for everybody this weekend. And of course, those of you who've heard the rumors that Jenson Button of McLaren fame, former world champion, may be announcing his retirement this weekend. So that's kind of sad too. I really like Jenson. He's kind of been stuck with a crap car this year at McLaren. Him and Alonso have both kind of gotten unlucky in that regard. And I don't know what's wrong with McLaren. I really don't. It's just a shame to see such a, just like with Williams when they were doing really bad. It's just so sad to see such a legendary team doing so bad. I don't know if it's all based on the Honda engines either. But I know this is a big weekend for McLaren, for Honda, and they want to do well. So hopefully, maybe JB and Fernando can get some points this weekend. We'll see. But yeah, he's supposed to be perhaps announcing his retirement. I know that Mercedes. I used to say Mercedes. It used to be Mercedes powered, but they were McLaren Mercedes. But I know McLaren's got some young talents, Stoffel Van Dorn and Kevin Magnussen, that they really want to get seats. And I don't know if they're trying to push Button out, or if he's just decided, I can go do something else. But it's kind of sad. It's sad. As an American fan, I'm really sad to see it, and I wish him luck if he's retiring. I wish Jensen luck. It's an up and down career, but can definitely say he's been a guy that I'll miss just watching it. Just much like I miss Mark Webber and his giant chin. That chin, so dreamy. But yeah. I mean, there's not really much else to talk about this weekend in Formula One at Suzuka. You know, Hamilton's pretty much got the title locked up. Vettel's the only one that can really challenge him. Rosberg's still there, but I don't expect Rosberg to be much of a threat. I think it's Vettel's to win if Hamilton struggles. But I don't think that. I think Lewis is probably going to win another championship this year, which hasn't been the most exciting year. Mercedes has kind of dominated the Formula One landscape, but I got my fingers crossed.
Job. That's strong
Nice.
pace, and we're building a nice gap to second.
We're doing good, but I got my fingers crossed. Maybe next year will be more exciting. I'm curious to see how Haas does. Obviously, those of you who are unfamiliar with Haas, it is the company that's the team that's being run by Gene Haas, who, if you follow NASCAR at all, you probably recognize the name from Stewart Haas Racing. He is the guy who's co-owners of that team with Tony Stewart, and they have one car in the chase right now. I think maybe they have two. I don't know. Did Brian Newman get in? I don't remember. I'll have to check that out. I know Kevin Harvick's in, and he's kind of their one driver who's in right now, and their other two drivers are Tony Stewart and good old Danica Patrick, who is slowly getting better at NASCAR, which still kind of sucks, which is a shame, but oh well, it is what it is. But he is starting up a Formula One team next year. Kind of curious to see who the drivers are. I've heard some very good rumors about who it might be. It might be a certain French driver. Drives for Lotus right now, and a certain Mexican driver who is a reserve for Ferrari. You can Google that and find out who they are. I don't know if that's the actual lineup or not, but would certainly bring them money. And I know Alexander Rossi is not going to be probably with Haas. I don't know if he'll be a reserve driver. I don't know if he'll stick with Manor, because he's racing with Manor right now. He'll be at Suzuka this weekend as well. Good old USA. But it'll be interesting to see how it happens with him. It'll be interesting to see if any other American drivers possibly come over into the Formula Series. There's a possibility. Never know.
Great driving. What a win. Fantastic
So we'll see.
job.
But it's exciting times in the future, and I'm really looking forward to the race at Suzuka this weekend. It's one of my favorite tracks. I can always go for more Suzuka, or in this case, Sakkito. But yeah, there we go. Our Lancer Evo X FQ 400 won, and we won by a fairly nice margin. So that will be all for today. Hope you guys have gotten a nice little tour of the track. And I ran out of things to talk about, so I will end it here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you very soon around the track.